climat qui permet aux entreprises de croître. My government takes our role in this partnership very, very seriously. Over the last decade, we've worked very hard, and I want to just stop there and just give credit, because I say my government. Dalton McGuinty was a huge booster of this notion, and we began, and we've worked hard to establish a culture of entrepreneurship in Ontario. And by and large, we've been successful. We've done a great job, but more to the point, you have done a great job. Together, we created an innovation ecosystem with university accelerators that build real value into startups. From U of T's Creative Destruction Lab to the Communitech Hub in Kitchener, which is the anchor of a regional startup ecosystem, now over 1,000 companies strong. The culture of entrepreneurism that has exploded across Ontario in the past decade starts with our support for the talented people in our post-secondary institutions. Sam Altman of Y Combinator, that renowned California-based seed funder for tech startups, he was asked recently if any one college stood out for having students whose ideas took off. He said yes, but it wasn't in the US. He said the University of Waterloo. We're in, yes. And we are enormously proud of the Ontario companies that have burst onto the scene in recent years and have grown to employ hundreds of people and do business around the world. Shopify is maybe the biggest recent example. Since 2010, Shopify has grown from 40 employees to over 600 and supports over 160,000 online retailers in 150 countries worldwide. And we were there supporting Shopify at the beginning through the Ontario Venture Capital Fund directly and through Georgian Capital Partners, in which we and you are a limited partner. Market watchers have put Shopify's valuation at over $1 billion, and that's important. Rebuilding Ontario's venture capital system was a key plank of our innovation agenda, because risk capital is the fuel that propels entrepreneurs. In 2009, Ontario was ranked 14th in venture capital investment in North America. 5 short years later, we were 6th. But we can reach higher, and we need to reach higher in order to compete. Our startup ecosystem has fostered a wonderful spirit of entrepreneurship, and more capital is flowing into Ontario than in the past. But the fact is, we need more Shopifys, more billion-dollar companies that set down deep roots in Ontario and create jobs by the hundreds and the thousands. So, we've listened to those who have been involved in successful scale-ups, and we're putting money and energy where we know there is a gap. Nous avons été à l'écoute de ceux et de celles qui ont participé à des mises à l'échelle fructueuse, de telle sorte que nous mettons urgence et énergie là où nous savons qu'il existe un écart. Nadir Mohammed is here with us today. Nadir has seen firsthand and has dedicated himself to finding a solution to this gap. After he retired as CEO of Rogers Communications, Nadir went to work on behalf of entrepreneurs, tackling the barriers they face when trying to grow. As the current CEO in residence at Ryerson University, through his work with its digital media zone, and as a board member of the Next 36, Nadir is working to take us from a startup nation to what he calls a scale-up nation. Our government has a role to play in helping him succeed. So I want to just stop here and say thank you for the idea. And Sheldon's sitting right behind you, and he's been chewing on my ear about this as well. So thank you for that. This is a gap that has been identified. It's a problem we need to solve. And thank you for pushing us to do that. Thank you, Nadir. Thank you very much. So Ontario is a startup province, and that is unequivocally good for our people, for our economy. To make it great, we need to work to become a scale-up province. That comes down to capital and connections, and that is where Scale-Up Ventures comes in. As we announced in last week's budget, the province of Ontario will provide up to $25 million towards Scale-Up Ventures, a unique partnership between government, private investors, and business leaders who are committing both their capital and their connections. The more than $50 million Scale Up Ventures Fund is designed to ensure that Ontario's most promising companies reach the stratosphere right here in Ontario. Each company chosen for investment will be partnered with one of the 30 members of Scale Up's Leadership Council, who will bring mentorship and real connections, new customers, and new markets to bear. The members of Leadership Council understand that they have a role to play in developing new talent and new ventures. They come from many economic sectors to help guide a young business to growth in a very real and practical way. Having a mentor with an established track record of success can open doors that were once closed or maybe even slammed in your face. They can take you from pitching middle management over the phone to pitching ownership in the boardroom. So I want to thank Nadir for taking the lead in Scale Up Ventures Leadership Council, for finding other civic-minded business leaders to join him, and for his help in raising the initial $25 million in private investment for this fund. Thank you so much. Scale Up Ventures will begin its operations this year. It forms a small, I know, that's okay, it's okay. It forms a small but significant part of our government's plan for sustainable economic growth. But it's a four-part plan to build Ontario up by investing in people's skills and talents, making the largest infrastructure investment in Ontario's history, fostering a dynamic and innovative environment where businesses can thrive, it's obviously part of that, and securing retirement for everyone in the province. But as I said at the beginning of my remarks, essential to our plan are your ideas, your innovations, and your drive. Ce qui est essentiel pour notre plan, ce sont vos idées, vos innovations et votre dynamisme. Your entrepreneurial success and our success as a province will not be determined by fate or circumstance. It will be determined by our capacity to come together, continue to work in partnership, so that you, the thought leaders, can continue discovering, innovating, and leading in the global economy. We have found success by learning to do things differently. Nous avons connu le succès en apprenant à faire les choses de manière différente. Through Scale Up Ventures, we will build on that success. We'll build Ontario up for today and for tomorrow with your help. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech.